Have you ever relieved a certain officer, and every time you relieve them, the dorm is in chaos and totally in disruption, and you wonder why? Or have you ever gone to work, and if you work at the prison, and the sergeant or your lieutenant or your captain says, hey, I'm going to put you in H dorm. It's total chaos right now. I know you can fix it. Or if you work in a jail, have you ever been told by your sergeant when you come on duty, hey, I'm going to put you in Echo pod because it is off the chain. And you sit there and wonder, why is something not being done about the officers who are allowing these dorms and pods to go off the chain? Now, I never had a problem when that happened to me. I love to go in there and fix things, and I know there's a lot of officers that do, but does there come a point when we have to face these officers who are allowing the dorms to become disruptive and tell them that they need to get on the ball as a officer in a prison or as a detention officer in a jail? Now, we'll get to the supervisor part. Yes, it is their responsibility to get these people straight as well, maybe even more than our responsibility. Hi, I'm Gary York, True Prison Stories. Please subscribe if you like this video. Hey, I know that's happened to a lot of us, and you go in and, you know, you think, why is it every time I relieve this guy or this man or this woman, why is the dorm in total chaos? Why do I always have to clean it up? Well, when that happens, do you run to your supervisor and tell them they need to do something? Well, I say no, not now. I say go to that officer while you're relieving them and say, look, why is the dorm like this? Why is the dorm so dirty? Why is are all the mop buckets still out and the mops and brooms? Why is it not locked up and secured? Why are they not ready for me to go in and do count? Why is everything in total chaos? Now, when that happens, you would hope that the officer would listen to you, take heed, and try to do better. So that, at that point, I would say we've talked and we're going to give the officer another chance. Now, if the officer just looks at you and says, screw you, don't worry about what I do, and they just want to go home, obviously, and they don't give a darn about what's going on in the dorm, now we've got a problem. Now we need to probably start talking to the chain of command. Of course, go with your sergeant first. Say, look, I relieved Officer Jones 5 times. No offense to anybody named Officer Jones out there. I'm just using it as an example. You know, and this is like the 5th time the dorm is in total chaos. The sergeant might say, well, did you talk to him about it? What did you do? I said, yes. I've talked till I'm blue in the face. Okay, but let's don't really run off to our sergeants and our lieutenants before we try to handle it man to man, woman to woman, however, whatever the situation is. Let's give our fellow officers the opportunity to talk with us and get it straight. And when that just comes to no good, it just doesn't work, then you have to move on, because you can't keep having to fix all these problems that should have been fixed on the shift prior to you. Now, how many of you are allowed to say, I'm not taking this dorm over until you fix it? I'm not taking this jail pod over until you fix it? Some places, you know, allow that, and that should be that way. You should be able to say, you can stay right here until you get this place fixed. It's not fit to be turned over to the next shift. And I like that idea. I like the idea of them having to fix their problem before you take that dorm or pod over. It makes them think, and it makes them have to get it done. It makes them stay over. And in those kind of cases, I would say stay over without any overtime. You've got the mess. You've got to clean it up. I will not take this dorm over in this situation. And when they start to have a big problem with it, well, we can move on up the chain of command again. But hopefully, the officer will say, you're right. Let me get this fixed real quick for you before I go home. And they would take care of it. That would be the right thing to do. But as you all know, we have a few people that come in looking like rag bags, look like they slept in their uniform, and that's the way they run their dorm or their pod. And I don't want to take a pod over or a dorm over from somebody who's left me a huge mess. Now, on the other hand, you've got your supervisors who want you to fix it. Well, that's fine. Go in there and fix it. Obviously, they have faith in you to put you in the dorm to get it fixed. But listen, I would also tell my supervisor, look, Sarge, I'll fix it again. But how long is this going to go on? When is that shift going to talk to that officer? Can you talk to their supervisors and get this fixed? Why do we have to go through this all the time? Why are we covering for these officers that aren't doing their job? Why can't we retrain them, give them remedial training? Why can't we make them stay late, fix this problem before we relieve the dorm, rather than us go in and fix it? And I've had to go in. I know it's in the jail, inmates flooded the cell. It was a mess. They weren't doing what the officer wanted, and I was sent in. They switched the schedule and said, look, go in there and fix it. And I went in, and we had them locked down because they were so disruptive. And I walked in the center, and I sat down on the table in the jail pod, and I addressed them all from the center of the dorm and said, this is the way it's going to be. And after I gave them a speech, and I knew who had flooded the cell, but I said, I don't know who flooded the cell and got water all over the dorm. And then I looked up to the right to the cell that did it and got a big laugh because they knew I knew it was them. But I said, let's just get this place clean and back in order. Now, I'm going to need 6 volunteers to come out here before I open these cell doors and open the pod for the evening and clean up this mess. Well, the 2 that did it actually volunteered, and then I got 4 more. We got it cleaned up. And then I told everybody, once I get the pod back open so they can come out, I want everybody to get their cells straight because I'm going to do a cell-to-cell inspection with my partner tonight. And I'll get a partner, and we're going to come in here and search your cells. So get it straight. You've got such and such amount of time. I mean, that's just one way. Everybody has their own way of doing things. But listen, isn't that a mess when you come to work and you think, now I got to fix this prior shift's mess, do all this extra work plus what I already have to do on my shift? That was at a time when when I worked in the evenings, 4 to 12, and that was at Pasco County Jail, and they were on 8-hour shifts. And I had mail pass, I had feeding, I had all kinds of stuff to take care of. But then I still had to take care of the mess that the other officer left me. So I think everybody gets the point of what I'm talking about. Tell us your experience in how you would handle an officer that constantly wants to leave you or hand over a dorm or pod to you that is in total dismay. Tell us what your supervisors have done in the past, and are they working to retrain these officers, give them some type of remedial training, or put the pen to the paper. Maybe sometimes you have to do it to get their butts lit up and get to work and do what they're supposed to do. Let us know your thoughts on that. Let us know your thoughts about receiving a dorm from an officer who leaves it in total chaos. Thanks a lot, folks. Take care. Gary York, True Prison Stories. Please subscribe.